and welcome to CNBC TV 18. I'm Malvika Jain and I have with me Mr. Vivek Sood, the CEO of Televinx Communications, a company which offers telecom services under the brand name of Uninor in 6 telecom circles already and will be launching operations in Assam probably by the end of the year once regulatory clearances come its way. Mr. Sood, welcome to CNBC TV 18. Hi. My first question to you is that, India is at the cusp of a data revolution, but Uninor is still continuing its operations with 2G spectrum. So in the midst of all this, particularly because you don't even have presence across the country, how do you intend to combat competition and become profitable?
Yeah, I think, in 2012, we took a very conscious decision that we want to be a mass market basic service provider. When we say mass market, it's basically about every individual where we are present. That time we decided that what is basic services? Now, basic service for us was voice and was SMS, and then we graduated ourselves to basic internet services. For us, that's the strategy part of it. Yes, there is a need to go into the next stage where there's 3G, 4G, but I think there's still relevance of what services, basic services we provide. We also took a stand that we want to be the most affordable service provider for the mass market. And to be most affordable service provider for the mass market, we basically decided that this basic service with the very ease of activating and also services which are easy to be made available is what we will drive. So I think that's been our focus for the timing. And I think there is still a lot of market there. Penetration level on mass market is still not complete. So I think there is still an opportunity for there in this particular segment. Yes, there will be a need for us to graduate to the next level, and which we will do in a period of time. Yeah.
But do you feel your present strategy is working? Because for 2 consecutive quarters, your operating profit has actually been in the negative. And overall, if you look at the balance sheet or the financial statements of the company, barring an instance where you got the benefit of license fee refund, things haven't really worked out so far in terms of numbers for your company.
See, I think we've been gaining market share. If you look at even on basic services, we've been gaining market share. We've seen our penetration level on internet, even though this is on 2G, pretty much the same as what the incumbents have. We've also seen ourselves turning positive on EBITDA this year, and I think we are building on that position. But I think very important for us is that we continue to run a very low-cost model. And one of the things which we decided that make it as easy as possible, do not have many frills around the services, and that's helped us to keep our operating profits low. But the fact is we continue to invest. I mean, last year we invested around 5,000 new base stations, and that's the effect of that comes in the immediate period for when you look at the costs. Similarly, we would be investing into the further expansions. We would be investing into Assam as we start looking at that, launching that. So there would be investments continuing, but we have turned positive on EBITDA, and I think we will looking at being positive on EBITDA this year.
Well, you're optimistic despite not having a very high ARPU?
See, I think as I said, it's mass market, and mass market is about basic services. So the ARPU level are low, yes, I understand, but then we also run a cost model which is able to support that kind of ARPU levels.
Well, you did mention that eventually you would be moving to 3G, 4G. What kind of timeline can you give? Is it a long-term strategy that the company is looking at, or could this happen even over the next 5 years or so?
See, I think it will be happening soon because we realize that the customers are now demanding high-speed data, so we have to be ready with that proposition. But I think it's to do that, we also need to have our own organization ready because we've been very focused on basic services. So we need to develop ourselves to get to that level. We also need to ensure our network is capable of being future ready. So we have to make those changes in the network. So we are working on those things as we speak. In addition to that, I think what is very critical is we need more spectrum to do that. We are okay when it comes to GSM services, which we have, but if we want to graduate ourselves to high-speed data, then we need to have more spectrum available. And I think what we are working towards is to ensure that we are able to acquire that. in the right manner and at right price. So I think we still have time before this starts hurting us, our business model. So there's still a growth which is there in what we are currently providing. But I would say that within the next 2 years, we need to find an answer there.
And as a telecom company, can we also expect you to in any manner participate in the e-services initiative of the government, whether it's in the field of healthcare or education, even though you intend to remain a mass service provider? These could also be translated into mass services, and maybe with your existing setup itself, you could tap into these potential opportunities.
See, I think I'll tell you, I used to be heading Telenor in Bangladesh, and the company, the Grameenphone, which I used to head, is one of the largest operator there. And we decided in that market, though that may be small in context, that it's just not about telecom services. We moved into internet for all, we moved into health for all, we moved to mobile financial services, payment solutions, etc. So I think there is clearly a purpose behind anyone holding a SIM and connected to you. And I think there's a lot more you can do on that particular element. And I think we are completely game. And more so as our vision is driven from empowering societies. When we talk about empowering societies, it's just not about just not about being connected, but I think it's all about giving the right benefits of being connected. So I think there is clearly a way forward, and I think we are open to have dialogue with the government on what can be done in these areas and how we can, in our way, participate. Yes, we may be relatively small, but still, I think those customers who use are the real customers, mass market customers of ours, who really need an answer for some of these services, and I think we are there to provide those services.
Besides organic growth, of course, that is one of the ways of growing. You could also look at mergers and acquisitions. Systema, Sham, and Reliance Communications have announced their intent to collaborate with each other. Of course, there is no definitive agreement that has been signed. There has also been a buzz that Telenor, your parent company, and Tata Tele are in talks with each other. If it is at all true, of course, that's something that you must confirm to us. What is the hurdle? Why is this deal not going forward?
See, I think first of all, we don't comment on the speculations, the rumors which are there, so I cannot comment on this particular aspect. But I think, yes, there is, as I said to you, if we want to graduate to the next level of technology, we do require spectrum. And when we require spectrum, spectrum could be through an organic auction route, could also be through an M&A. And I think with the new guidelines on spectrum sharing, trading coming, that also opens a window for us. So I think we have, I would not say M&A as the only option, but we have different routes for us to get spectrum. So we are working on all those options there. So it's very difficult for me to say where and when we will conclude. But yes, there is a need and we need to find an answer to that.
But when you talk about spectrum trading and sharing, and the guidelines are likely to be notified by maybe as early as next week, what do you think would be your top 3 expectations from the government in terms of the policy framework which you feel would actually enable consolidation in the sector? Because year after year we see CEOs emphasizing that there is a need for consolidation in the sector. There are too many telecom players in the industry, and that is why everyone is suffering. But actually when you see deals taking place, there are almost none.
See, I think first of all, I would say that, we look at India as one country. We look from generally, but in our view, India is actually 22 countries because you have 22 different circles and we all operate in, for example, we operate in 6 circles at this point in time. So I think we need to look at what's the extent of competition in each of those circles. So I don't think at this point in time we are really cluttered. There's a space for all of us to find, and those who do not find a real attractive space, they've decided to kind of either exit or marginalize their operations in those markets. So there is still an opportunity for 5 or 6 players to exist in each circle. That's one part. Then the second part is this, yes, what is required for consolidation to happen, ease of consolidation. I think the way I read the spectrum trading and sharing guidelines which were issued by TRAI, and I think I don't know what are the modifications done to that particular aspect. I think that's the right approach for consolidation to to those who do not want to continue in a particular circle, able to share or trade their spectrum. So that's, I think, a right direction. However, I also feel that similar thinking should be there when it comes to M&A. Because what's not very clear is there has not been an incident, as you said, of a real M&A. But the fact is, we don't know how that M&A process from a regulatory standpoint will go through. So I think what government needs to do is, one is the guidelines on M&A, that's one aspect, but also I think clarity on how M&A procedure should be carried out. Because spectrum trading and sharing is good, but then it leaves behind the customer and the assets of another company. M&A allows that also to be transferred to the new operator. So I think what I would say is that governments should need to look at how the M&A guidelines as well as the process needs to be communicated in.
Well, you did mention that presently you are offering services only in 6 telecom circles, and there is, of course, another circle in which you will soon be launching operations. Are there any plans to expand in terms of presence across India, or do you feel complacent being present or having license to offer telecom services in 7 telecom circles out of 22?
See, I think I would put it this way, that we have 3 things to look at. One is customers are going to demand high-speed data, so we have to find an answer to that, and that's where I talked about more spectrum on our existing circles. So we need to find an answer to that. So that's one part, that we need to upgrade ourselves from being pure 2G player to a high-speed data player. So that's one. And then we also haven't fully covered the markets where we exist in 6 circles, so we have to geographically expand into those spaces. And the third aspect is expand into the other markets. I think I would put that yes, there is an opportunity to go for further organic expansion, but at this point in time, priority for us would really be about ensuring that we are able to bring technologies higher where we operate, and also increase our footprint in circles where we already exist.
Well, we are in conversation with Vivek Sood, the CEO of Telelinks Communications. We are going to be back soon after this break.